All right, welcome back from the episode of Carnivore Trade. Today is Friday, July 29th, 2022. If you like the content, give the video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe to the channel, or come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts and analysis. Anyways, another rally day here for the market. Spiders up 1.5, Qs up 1.75% here. Obviously, you see Apple and Amazon on my screen. Apple up nicely, 3.5%. Amazon up just under 12%. This is coming into some resistance here. There's a gap on the daily time frame right into this zone, and then there's one right above that. So you're going to have some resistance up there. There we go. And then on Apple, that actually exceeded my target. I thought I knew we would get up to 160 or so, probably pierce that 200 moving average. But earnings, like I said yesterday, earnings can always kind of skew things a little bit, and they always can throw a wrench into things. We gapped above that. So Apple may have a little bit more upside here, but overall a nice move for the markets. You see the spiders. We talked about the potential of a 3-bar surge yesterday. That happened with today's gap up. So we got our 3-bar pop. But now we're coming into this 100 MA and this breakdown area. So this is your failed inside bar from last month, from June. And take a look at where we were 2 weeks ago. So this is a 50-point move in 2 weeks on the SPY. So markets are really stretched short term and they're into resistance. You got a 3-bar surge into resistance. That's usually a good sell signal for a pullback. That is not a major sell signal right now, though, just to be clear on that. I still think, again, there's still some more time on the clock here based on the work that I've done. And the work I've done has been pretty accurate so far this year, especially calling the summer rally. We got it right down to we said there'd be a pivot on the solstice. We said there'd be a pivot right around July 4th or 5th, or well, the market was closed for the 4th, but that week there, the week of the 5th, we said there'd be a pivot. We got that. And, the market's paid us pretty handsomely since then. But in any case, we're not quite there as far as a major sell signal at this point, but we are into resistance here. And there's the 100, there's this breakdown area. So that's, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a pullback, but I'm not sure if it's, going to be any sort of major high. If we take a look at the triple Qs here, and this is partly why. So we got above that 100 MA, we're above this pivot. And then you have this level right here. But this trend line, now that we're so close to this trend line, it's almost like this trend line will become kind of a magnet for the market. And I feel like, at this point, we probably need to go up there and test that, or at least get close to it. Close enough to, kind of give it a kiss or something like that. And it may need to, we may need to do a little pullback first if we're going to do that. But overall, no real problems out here other than the market's really overbought in the short term. You can see the Russell 2000 getting above the 100 as well and filling this gap on the daily. Ever since that trend line break, we got a nice little pop there on the Russell. So I wouldn't even rule out a move up to 191, maybe even testing this breakdown area around 193. So Russell holding up well. The diamond also through the 100 again. You got to go back up to that 331, and I keep bringing up this 331 level on the diamond, and this has been really good for over a year now, about 18 months now. Take a look here. Gap, you basically kissed it there. We got down there, we chopped around, and then that's kind of been a line in the sand. We couldn't get above it here. It's been a line in the sand for a while, so almost like the market wants to go right back to that area there on the diamond. But again, overall, no real issues with the market. Nice broad-based rally here. It's a summer rally, very light volume, summer doldrums type move, and that's what we have come to expect right now. There will be some more volatility coming, but again, like I said, there's still a little bit more time out there, and these markets are a little overbought here short term, but you don't want to step in front of it when there's no volume. Don't short the dull market. So again, we'll just take it one day at a time, and we'll evaluate things as they go. Let's take a look here at the spiders really quickly, though. I want to take a look. So we have a nice monthly candle here. Pretty good pop there on the monthly. So again, we made a higher monthly low, still inside of this bar here, and still below that 20 moving average, but a nice bounce on the monthly, for the month of July. So a nice move there for the markets overall. Pretty much been a one-sided trade all month long after a lot of selling here in the earlier half of the year. So nice little reversal there for the spiders. Anyways, let's flip over here. Semis, up just under 1% here. Again, kind of coming into the same area, back above the 100 now. But again, you're going to come into some resistance up in this area. So maybe you can get up there. Obviously, if the triple Qs can go up there and tag that trend line right around this 240, 245 area. That's kind of where you would expect the semis to go. But overall, no problems out here for the SMH. IGV, you know, a little bit on the softer side, still not above this pivot. So 296.09 has still held even with this nice surge here over the last 4 days. So I do like this zone here for some resistance on the IGV if it does get up there. But overall, you know, IGV green just like everything else today. But definitely notably on the weaker side, biotech still stuck inside of this bullish kind of channel here. Again, I wouldn't rule out one more kind of little pop here for XBI, but overall, you know, it's just hanging in there for now. Dow Transports, big winner on the day, up 2.59% currently. So a nice 3-bar surge there above the 100 moving average, above this pivot. And now you're coming into these sell-off bars here. So I wouldn't rule out a little bit more upside again with the Dow. Maybe it pulls back with everything else on Monday. But again, you know, I had a nice little pop here. But you're going to come into a lot of resistance with these sell candles up here. And then, you know, you have that 200 MA above that. So I don't know if it can actually get up that high. But a nice recovery on the transports. Again, with that trend line, daily trend line. As soon as we broke that, it was off to the races. Nice little pop, bull flag, and then a secondary surge. So transports holding up okay. Rates here, TNX, we have a confirmed head and shoulders breakdown now on our hands. So, I mean, technically, we really confirmed it yesterday, but now with the weekly close, it's definitely confirmed there. So no negation of that to speak of. So I do expect the 10-year to head back towards 2% here. And then 30-year, that is also now confirmed here on the weekly as well. So 30-year, a little bit of a smaller pattern. So this is forecasting a yield curve that will steepen, believe it or not. So that is that's a positive for the market, but you know, the bond market is complex. Really what it says to me more so is that there's just going to be a rally in bonds, and that's really the way that we're going to look at it here. But the 30-year, you know, probably gets back to that 2.5 area. That's probably kind of about where it would go, and that would coincide with about 2% on the 10-year. But overall, we have those confirmed tops now on the in the bond yield market. So we will look for a rally in bonds coming here soon. But overall, nice little technical pattern there for the 30 and 10-year. HYG above the 100 MA. You know, what can you say? It's had a nice move off the lows. So again, this is pricing in the Fed slowing down QT, and that's essentially the takeaway from the rally here on HYG. Home builders also continuing up. XHB, nice little pop here. Again, I told you guys I liked this level as a short last week. However, I didn't take it because the volume's too light. We're in that summer rally period, and you don't want to fight this trend right now. You're trying to fight a tidal wave. Just get out of the way. There's people trying to fight this right now, and they're getting their heads handed to them. So, you know, we got a little 2-day pull. This is a good level, and we had a good doji candle there. Then we got a 2-day pullback, and then it was over with. So that's why, you know, you don't want to step in front of it right now. There'll be a time for that, but we're not quite there yet. But XHB, nice higher high. ITB didn't make a higher high, but it's still having a nice little pop off of those lows, that pullback earlier this week, and it's holding up well. VNQ, you know, nice little pop again today. So up 70 basis points, stalling out at this 100 MA. Got this trend line here that I said was going to be resistance, so that's kind of where it's stopping here. Again, you know, my max move was around 97, 98, but that was before I saw this big surge here. So we had a kind of a characteristic change in the market yesterday for VNQ. Nice little pop and a little bit of follow through today. This is a little stretch though. I don't see it getting much through this area. It's still a pretty good resistance level, but can't take anything away from the nice rally here on VNQ. XLF finally filling up that gap. So that gap is now filled. Nice little pop there for XLF. You had kind of a sloppy consolidation here. Nice little test candle and pop yesterday, and then, you know, a gap and go day today. So XLF holding up nice. Upside, I would say, is probably right around 35.50, and that would coincide with that 100 MA. So that's kind of your upside target there for the XLF near term, if it can have some more upside. And then XBD just continues to power up here. So you're going to have a little bit of resistance around that 440 handle, but this is holding up well. It's showing good relative strength, up 2% today, and a continued upside move here. Again, this one is getting very stretched short term, 378 here. 2 weeks ago, all the way up to 434. So a huge move there for XBD. But again, you know, holding up well, coming into some short-term resistance, but you know, can't take anything away from the nice rally here. Let's look at energy. So crude, Again, tried to get above that 20 moving average again today and just was rejected. So it's really struggling to get above that area. You kind of had you can almost make a case this was a test candle here, and push back down. We'll have to see a little bit more earlier next week. If we look on the weekly though, you're still inside of this red bar, and it's kind of just hovering above that 50. So I don't like when I see that. It's hovering above the 50 moving average. It's hovering above the 200, so it's trying to build strength to push through that 200. And you guys know how I'm, essentially my thesis on this. I do expect oil to head lower, and that's looking like that could be the case here, moving forward here. But overall, it's holding up for now, and we don't really have a trade on it at the moment. But again, it's hanging in there. We are expecting it to go lower. And we'll be along this when it hits the right level. So we'll just leave it at that and take it one day at a time here. XLE, nice little pop right into this necktie of the 50 and 100. Is going to close above that area, so nice move there. Next level is gap window at 80. Let's see, 80.63, and then you got a gap fill up there. So we'll see if we can get through that. I didn't think you would be able to get through that necktie so easily, but again, when you have these short squeezes and you see XOP gapping above the necktie, so this could have some more room to run as well. But when you have these short squeezes, sometimes things can go a lot higher than people think. So you got to be careful of that. And that's why you don't want to stand in front of a freight train, or you don't want to stand in front of the tidal wave when it's coming. Just wait patiently, and let the market tell you, let the market give you the sell signal. Don't try to jump in front of it. All right, so OIH here, also same thing. Short term is going to be this pivot up here. Got these other pivots as well, and then that 50-day MAs. That's going to be your short-term level there, but a nice little rally up 4.65% on OIH for right now. Nat gas continuing to fade off the highs. No real trade here at the moment. It did have that massive topping candle a few days ago, and it is pulling back here. We'll see if it wants to come back and test this trend line here in the short term. Dollar index, again, starting, we talked about this little micro kind of bear wedge here that was building, and it is starting to break down a little bit. That's helping the market rally. Again, finding a little bit of support here. You came off the lows today. Low of the day was 105.54. That basically coincides with kind of this area right here. Little pivot high. You touched that there. Short term, it probably wants to go at least touch that 50 moving average, and then we'll see from there. But overall, dollar coming in, that's obviously good for markets, and we'll just leave it at that for now. Nothing really too new to report there. Gold continuing higher here. That looks like it wants to go test that 50 MA here in the short term. Nice little 3-bar pop. I don't like that gap though. I told you guys that before. I just don't like that gap there. I wish you just filled that there on gold futures, but a nice little move there off the lows. For GC, again, if the yield curve starts to steepen again and we start to price in, the bonds start to rally, this is going to be good for gold. And that's, one of the reasons why I've been saying that over the last couple of weeks. There's that level there on gold, nice support, also the 200-week moving average. And it's another reason why I'm long the gold miners right now. So nice little outside week here. For gold miners, we tested the low. I told the members on Monday I wouldn't be surprised if we had an engulfing reversal this week. Even after that brutal bloodbath on Newmont Monday and that big sell-off. I said, guys, don't worry about this. We're probably going to reverse this by the end of the week, and we've done just that. So nice move there off the lows for the miners. Let's take a look at SILJ. Nice move there as well. Silver also following through with yesterday. This wants to go up and test that 50 moving average in the short term. Nice little 3-bar pop there, coming off the lows nicely for silver. Nice little rally here for the metals. Platinum finally making that higher high. So it looks like it wants to get up into that 910, 915 area here in the short term. But a nice move there for platinum. Palladium also green as well. Kind of just stuck between that 200 and 100 moving average. But a nice little move there. And then copper finally getting a good bid here. Nicely coming off the lows. So, I mean, even after today's surge, it's still way away from that 50 moving average. So it has some room to rally. Here, your next level would probably be around 370, 375, but a nice little move there off the lows for copper. So a nice pop there. All right, let's flip over to the coins. So Bitcoin here, nice little rally again, following through just like yesterday. We talked about that. A little bull flag kind of pullback pattern, little doji candle, and then a pop. Little doji today too. It's still, let's see, what was the high today? Or this high, I should say, 24,296. And the high here was 24.4. So we just slightly made a higher high, not a closing high above this pivot, but you did make a nominal higher high. Still would like to see it at least push through that level. Ether here obviously has already done that. Ether is in much better technical shape. So it got close to that 1800 area where I said that I would give it the upside bias to. Didn't quite get there yesterday. 1785. Okay, 15 points off. Big deal. Close enough for government work. But Ether's still holding up well. And, you know, if you can consolidate a little bit further, again, you could possibly get up to that 2000 handle. So nothing really wrong here on the coins at the moment. Again, Bitcoin, I'd give that the upside bias if we can get that consolidation up to about 26.5. So coins holding up well, markets holding up well. You know, it's summer doldrums, short squeeze. You know, you guys get the idea. We've been talking about this for weeks here, and that's what we've come to expect. Outside of that, we will look for you know, some new opportunities moving forward, but for right now the market is in float mode. It's very happy that the Fed looks like it's slowing down, and you know, there's other things on the horizon as well. Lots of chatter about Ukraine and Russia right now with potential peace. I know I brought that up a week or two ago. Jim Rogers said that he expects this to be done in a few weeks, so that may be the case. Maybe some insiders know, and maybe some insiders are buying because of that. So we definitely can't rule that out. Anyways, going to wrap it up here. Market's in total float mode. You guys take care. Have a great weekend. Come see me. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com. I'll talk to you all next week.